Hello everyone and welcome to His Author's Voice, and I am the author Jack Sanger, and this is the next in my occasional series under the heading The Art of Writing, where I focus upon areas that are not so much considered in manuals on writing. I'm calling this one Acts of Killing. Let me state straight away that sex and death are inextricably linked in much writing, just as they are in life. The French call an orgasm un petit mort, a little death, as if to emphasize that point. In a long-gone BBC series about the neurotic, fat psychoanalyst who helps police solve cases by profiling killers, Cracker, the overweight fellow often refers to the buzz that killers get from killing, which makes them want sex before and after the act. I'll talk more about sex in writing in another broadcast. I might also make mention of the fact that the arrival of so-called true crime reality TV often includes episodes where they try to get inside the pathology of killers. I once met an otherwise ordinary enough Frenchman who was elated because he had knocked down and killed someone with his car. Elated because he had achieved a particular milestone in his life. The Wim Wenders film, An American Friend, based on one of Highsmith's Ripley novels, is notable in that it centres graphically on an amateur who kills for the first time. On a train, if I remember rightly. And the bloody act seems to take forever, because of course the victim doesn't want to die, and the amateur bungles the act as an ordinary person most likely would. Yet in much writing, apart from high literature's deep psychological studies, killing is almost an afterthought. It's wham, bam, and on to the next scene. When victims are mere ciphers and killers show little thought to death owing to the writer's pen, you begin to wonder. Are they writing a superhero comic? A run-of-the-mill crime novel, or something better, which enlightens and informs? There'll be many future podcasts on the issue of complexity, moral or otherwise, so that's enough for the moment, except to say that all good writing must rest upon the author's capacity to get inside his or her characters, both good and evil. In my trilogy Azimuth's 3 volumes, I tried to depict, among other things, the gradual changes in a heroic figure as he comes to term with killing. In the trilogy, he deals with, and deals out, death easily at first, but begins to realise the enormity of what he's been doing. The consequences for him, the victim, and humankind. Meanwhile, the historian, Camille, who is writing this hero's history, then also kills, but under a strange force that leaves him powerless to do otherwise. I quote, Camille stared at the dripping blade in his hand, and a coldness swept his body, followed by a momentary exultation, which, later, he could not fathom. Was it the relief of his survival, or the fact that he had killed for the first time? You'll have to read the books to follow the way that the characters' experiences change their inner pathologies, but nowhere in the book is death taken lightly, because I, as a writer, have a repugnance for killing, whether by individuals or by states. Every act of death has to be a challenge when you write about it. And you have to understand the act and empathise with both the killer and the victim. I wanted the reader to see acts of killing as true to the awkward and contradictory nature of human profiles. As I said above, as writers, we can attempt to understand complexity, or we can play by established formulas, desensitizing killing by our casual descriptions, and thereby do little to advance the cause of human enlightenment. So I hope that's given you a little food for thought. And if you're writing crime, if you're writing hero fiction or whatever, you spend a great deal of time on an act which of course is morally reprehensible in real life. To take another's life, it's a terrible thing. I think in Azimuth, our hero ponders on the fact that every person that he's killed, he has erased that person's view of the universe. It is lost to the rest of humanity. Anyway, if you want to read Azimuth or any of my other books, short stories, plays, please go to my site, www.jacksanger.com, and also please subscribe to this site. It helps. And tell your friends. That's all for now. Bye-bye.